Hi guys, I'm Atishay Agarwal, editor and founder of 90 Minutes, which is India's only football magazine. And I welcome you to a very special Google Hangout on the SAFF Championship 2013. We're going to lead up to the tournament, which begins on the 1st of September in Nepal, with a series of such hangouts, with the aim to discuss football in the region, as well as preparations of various nations before the tournament starts. And for that, we're going to do a few country specials where we chat with an expert or two from a particular participating country and get an insight into issues specific to that, to their football and to the nation, and how they're going to go about the SAP Cup. We're starting with Pakistan today, who will look to win their first ever SAF Championship this time around. And luckily enough, mine is not the only face you'll be looking at today. I have two very special guests with me, Shahrukh Sohail and Mohammad Shahnaz. Hi guys.
Hi there.
So, one by one, maybe you guys would like to introduce yourselves to the audience. So why don't we begin with you, Shahrukh?
Yes, basically, as you know, my name is Shahrukh Sohail. I'm the current chief editor of Football Pakistan. Football Pakistan is an organization solely devoted to the promotion and development of football in Pakistan. We've been working with the Pakistan Football Federation for over 10 years now, and basically we deal media promotion and getting foreign players for Pakistan abroad.
And Shahnaz, please let the audience know a bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Mohammad Shahnaz. I'm based in UK. I also work with footballpakistan.com. I've been involved since the start of 2006, and pretty much what Shahrukh said, what we do, but we also kind of work outside Pakistan in terms of amongst the Pakistani community in UK and Europe, and so we've been recruiting players and we've done the Pakistan International 11 where we try to provide a platform to the European Pakistani players as an alternative to the national team. And we work with the Pakistan Football Federation on a whole host of issues as advisors and so on.
Okay.
So yeah, just that.
So Shahrukh, when we look forward to the SAF Championship this time, obviously we have to take a look back to the previous edition in 2011, which was held in India. How would you sum up that tournament for Pakistan? Was it a bit of a disappointment?
Not really a disappointment once you look at the results. First of all, you've got to understand that Pakistan's preparation was not the best. The new coach, the Visa Milosevic, only joined in November, so we only had a couple of weeks actually to prepare for the tournament actually. And as there was the Premier League going on as well, he hadn't a lot of time to select his squad and stuff. So basically, he worked with the squad that was already selected with him, and he did not have any friendly tours or other sort of matches to prepare as well. So when Pakistan went in, people here were looking at that they might get thrashed against Bangladesh, lose to Nepal out matches, but at the end of the day, Pakistan held solid and they took out 3 draws, which I personally think is a reasonable achievement for the Visa considering the limited time he had over there.
Shahnaz, you followed that tournament as well. What would you say were the main issues surrounding the Pakistan team at that point in time? Do you think that it was the problems with goal scoring is what held them back?
Is that me?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh, sorry, I just lost a bit of that. No, yeah, I think what happened, as Shahrukh said, the squad was already picked before the visa came, and there were few absentees which Mr. Lutfi, the previous coach, had not liked, just in relation to the overseas players, and which was a downer because only having 2 overseas players, Atif and Adnan, we were quite thin in terms of some strength and some creativity. And yeah, again, up front was a massive issue. Arif Mahmoud, he came in. It just looks like he left his shooting. Sorry, not Arif Mahmoud. We hadn't had Arif Mahmoud actually. We had Shakil Ashari. We had Mohammad Rasool out injured. There was no proper finisher that we had, and we tried Jadid Khan. Jadid Khan is not a striker. He's not even a winger. We had Kalimullah playing in a different role. So, the coach could only do with what he had in space of, 10, 12 days. And again, I think a lot of the credit for in a way it was a failure, but obviously Zavisa tried to salvage something out of it. The failure's credit goes to Mr. Lutfi because the squad he had picked, one would say, well, he purposely picked a squad of that nature for Zavisa because he knew he was going and he knew he was not going to be in charge of the SAFF Cup.
Shahrukh, do you think it was also a case of Pakistan not being at their best when playing outside of Pakistan? Do you think that's a weakness in the national team? I mean, I know for a fact that India struggle when they play outside of India. So is it, the same with Pakistan?
Well, not really. As you look back at Pakistan's recent results, yes, as you can see in the World Cup qualifier in 2011, Pakistan played in Dhaka in the first leg, and owing to some rainy conditions, Pakistan eventually lost the game 3-0. But in the return leg, they managed to hold Bangladesh to a certain extent and drew 0-0 at Lahore. But since the home support is not very, extravagant, or there are not many people turning up at stadiums, so you can't really say that when Pakistan play at home, they have the backing of the supporters and generally play well. Pakistan, I think, it doesn't really matter for them if they play at home or not. What really matters is that they need to have a squad that actually plays well and knows their position. And first and foremost, Pakistan needs to have a good striker that can eventually put the ball into the back of the net.
So, you talk about a new, that Pakistan needs a top striker, but do you think that the team has changed from 2011 to 2013? Is there a significant change or significant improvement in the side in these 2 years?
Yes. Go ahead, Shahnaz.
Yeah, I think from 2011 till 2013, we only had one international friendly in 2012. That speaks volumes of our seriousness of preparations, and but in 2013 we got got the act together and had some games, even though we had some cancellations. But yeah, I think from 2011 we now have some genuine quality in the team. We've got two strikers from Denmark, one of them a genuine finisher, the other one who does a lot of the work around the striker and between striker and midfield. Muhammad Ali, who used to be at Copenhagen, the striker Hassan Bashir, who came through the ranks at FC Nordsjælland and played in the first division in Denmark, second division. Had a small stint in Thailand that didn't work out. He's already got 2 goals in about, I think, 7 games. Some of our players, it's taken them over 3 years to score their first goal. So I think we've got that, and at the back I think we have a much more stability with the goalkeeper Yusuf Butt from Denmark. Obviously Adna's always been there. We will be missing some key players. We'll be missing Atif Bashir. This will be our first SAFF Cup without Atif since 2008. He played every single game from 2008 till 2011. So we'll be missing him, but I think we'll be glad to have someone like Amjad Iqbal back, who's been one of the top semi-professional Asians in the UK of his generation. So that's that, and obviously we still we'll have to wait and see what happens with Zesh Rehman, because one can't really say anything. 10 caps in 8 years says a lot.
That's true. Shah, so looking ahead to the 2013 tournament, what's the preparation like in terms of the matches Pakistan has played recently? There's been the AFC Challenge Cup qualification, and also a few friendlies against Maldives. So, how is the how would you sum that up? The performance of Pakistan in those games.
Well, first you look at Nepal, the first friendlies we played in February, and as expected, Pakistan was not really looking forward to the friendly in terms that they were the underdogs, and that's a big thing considering that they were playing in Nepal and against Nepal. But at the end of the day, as Shahnaz earlier mentioned, Hassan Bashir, he came on board and scored his first goal against Nepal. And in the second game, Pakistan again won 1-0, and thanks to most of the brilliance was done by Hassan in that game. He nutmegged the ball straight to the other striker and he managed to score. We first got 2 wins against Nepal, and then from moving on from there, we went to Maldives. Well, obviously Maldives is a much tougher opponent compared to Nepal, and you have the likes of Ali Ashfaq there. So Pakistan and the first game, they had a decent result. They turned out to 0-0 draw and managed to score in injury time. And that goal again was scored by Yakub Bart, who plays his football in Denmark. So in terms of Visa getting the foreign players on board and them delivering the first 3 games of ideal, and I'm sure the Serbian would have been delighted with those results. But in the third game, in the fourth last game, Pakistan was trounced 3-0 by Maldives. And if you've seen the highlights, Ali Ishfaq just went rampant. He was dribbling past 3 players at a time, and I think he was just playing a blinder. But if you talk to the players over there, they say that they were so tired after playing 3 games in 7 days that eventually they just caved in. So I think the first 4 friendlies Pakistan played in February, they were very milestone and turning point of sorts, since you realize that Pakistan has become a sort of contender, at least on South Asian level. Obviously, when the Challenge Cup qualifier came around, Pakistan was already pitted in a very tough group. Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, they're already very tough opponents. All right, you can leave out Macau in terms of their ability to compete, but Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan were expected to, at least beat Pakistan by a hefty margin. In the opening game, Tajikistan won by luck, as you could say that. They scored on the 89th minute, and Pakistan, who had played really well throughout the rest of the game, they just collapsed at the end. They were hoping for a draw in the opening game, and they could have won the next game as well. But once you get nailed so late on, obviously it takes a toll on your confidence level, and that eventually you could see Pakistan struggling in the next game. They conceded very early on, and they couldn't just find the back of the net afterwards. Against Macau, it was just a game scoring goals, and Hassan got one, and Pakistan eventually won 3-0.
Yeah. Shahnaz, like we discussed, that Pakistan lost out to Maldives, but perhaps they were tired after playing many games leading up to that match. But how would you compare Pakistan to, say, a Maldives at this current moment on paper?
I think on paper, to be honest, we've not had a really bad performance again. We drew in the 2010 Asian Games. We missed a penalty. We should have won that game. Last 2011 SAFF Cup group game, we drew with them. That game could have gone either way. The first friendly we drew. They played better football. We play a different style of football. It's not even English style, to be honest. But I don't know what style it is. It's not even Eastern Europe. It's not even Eastern European style. But the coach sees he's got to play to his strength. He hasn't got creativity in the middle or whatever. And to be honest, the last game against Maldives, as Shahrukh said, we had gone to Nepal like 18 hours before kickoff. The weather there is different. We played 2 games in 3 days. We flew back to Middle East. From Middle East, we went to Maldives. Again, literally 22 hours before the kickoff. And by the time 4th game came, we had about 3 guys playing with an injury. Everybody was cramped out. So I think getting friendly games, the warm-ups is a good idea, but we lack that professionalism in SAFF, especially to take care of your own players. You got to be arranging fixtures. That means your players have adequate recovery, preparation and so on. So I think, to be honest, in terms of matching Maldives, they have that flair which maybe we lack at certain times, but I think we have got that flair back, and we shouldn't. Let's see who we get in our group. I think last 4 games we've had 3 draws with them, and they beat us one friendly game when we were just down and out. So they're not that bad. Again, some of the teams might have huge success, but when you look at it on a game day in a competitive game, most of us are on par, to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably right. I mean, there's very little to separate most South Asian teams.
I mean, most of us have not even gone through a Challenge Cup this time around. So
exactly. Shahrukh, you're in Pakistan right now.
Yes.
So you probably have an idea of the kind of I wouldn't say coverage, because South Asian countries don't really cover football as well as they should. But in terms of football fans in Pakistan, are they really looking forward to the SAFF Championship? Is there any kind of buzz, any kind of expectation or excitement about it?
Well, that depends if you can't mean Shahnaz into that specific category. Yes, we are very excited, but the rest of the country, I don't think so. So when you look at it, Pakistani football has got a long way to go, even longer in terms of development. But when you look at the fans, they don't even know the names of the player, let alone you expect them to watch a major tournament. That's very unlikely to happen at the current scenario. But since Football Pakistan is trying to promote something at grassroots level, trying to encourage people to watch the tournament, it's taking time, but we're getting there. Our page is being followed a lot by football fans, and they're regularly asking us when does the SAFF tournament start, when does this happen, when does this happen. So generally, I think people are looking forward to tournament, but even if you compare them to, for example, a country like India, there is no comparison. Pakistani football fans are very, very far away from the national team. Most of their support is for their favorite clubs in Europe. So at the end of the day, I think the eventual audience and the fan support will be down to the broadcast system, because if there is no televised games, eventually you won't have anyone watching them.
Are there plans for live TV broadcast of the tournament in Pakistan?
Yes, there is. Actually, we were in touch with the World Sports Group a couple of days ago, and they have asked us to talk with a couple of TV channels over here as well. And even if that doesn't happen, the tournament is going to be telecasted live. So we're expecting a decent audience, come up and watch the game and support the national heroes.
I think what happens is with Pakistan is you have the national team following in certain pockets. Of course, you can relate to that in India where it's the northeast and the east, and then Goa and Maharashtra. It's the same with Pakistan. We got some small pockets. They're from a certain demographics where they're not visible on social media. But you will see that support, and they'll be cheering up, but it depends again what type of coverage there is on TV.
Well, being in the UK, I mean, you've obviously interacted with the Pakistani community, within the country over there. So, do you think the following for the national team there is greater than on average in Pakistan?
No, to be honest, over the years we actually get asked the question, do Pakistan, do India, do Bangladesh have a football team? That's a common question. But I'm sure, India turned up on FIFA 13. I'm sure that's helped answer a few questions. And but I think amongst the player circles, the players, their families, relatives, their friends, they've started following, and certain people who do have an idea that there is a Pakistan national team, but they just follow it through FIFA.com, our website. It used to be Football Mondial, that kind of thing. But other than that, it's all about getting into a major stage like an Asia Cup or a World Cup, and then you get noticed. Other than that, every other year Pakistan India UK series gets cancelled, so that doesn't help the cause. This time, it was your local boys at CMG who were trying to do it, but didn't happen.
Yeah. Shahrukh, do you think that like Shahnaz was mentioning, India-Pakistan series that was, a series of friendlies that was supposed to take place in the UK. Do you think something like that would excite Pakistan fans, with relation to the national team?
Yes, definitely. When it comes to India-Pakistan, I'm sure even a chess match would be very exciting. So a football series between Pakistan and India would definitely be the ideal tonic required for Pakistani football right now. We need something, spectacular, something exciting that gets the fans on their seats. And when it comes to opponent, I think there's nothing better than Pakistan facing India. But again, as Shahnaz mentioned, there have been ventures, trying to secure friendlies like this. There was one back in 2011, and there was one trying to secure friendlies this June. But at the end of the day, it just crashes around. The last friendlies that actually did take place were in Pakistan in 2005, and they garnered a lot of support and crowds all across Pakistan. There were three games held, one in Quetta and one in Islamabad as well. And so eventually, something along those lines will definitely help the football of both countries to go forward. But it's just a case of getting it done.
Yeah, when you were talking about your website, Football Pakistan obviously focuses on the game within Pakistan as well and the national team. So, has the audience for your website sort of grown in recent years? So, which would probably mean that they're taking more interest in the national team.
Yes, that's definitely happened. We've got a couple of regular fans, maybe 100, 200 couple of fans that are regularly following the Pakistani game now, popping questions, giving their own analysis on things. So generally there is a following. It's very minute, but it is definitely there at the moment. And another pertinent thing to mention here would be that Football Pakistan created a SAFF Cup promo a couple of weeks ago, and that proved to be a really big milestone in terms of media coverage. That a video eventually garnered around 400,000 views on social media, and the average football fan realizes the Pakistan team and they're trying to compete at a very decent level. So I think that was a major turning point in our page, especially. We managed to garner more than 5-6,000 likes in a couple of days, actually. So that just shows that the potential is there. We just need things to tap it accordingly. A telecast game between Pakistan and India, for example, would be an ideal way to, get the fans.
Mm-hmm.
I think just coming back to that Pakistan-India game, India owes us actually a tourney actually, because India toured in 2005 and we were supposed to tour back. That's never happened, and I think we'd love to do that one day. I mean, we'll go play wherever you want us to play. Northeast would be good.
Yeah,
Anyway, I mean, so I think that is something. The obviously there's some parts in Pakistan where our own domestic Premier League teams don't go now, but 8 years ago India played there, 30,000 people, tens of thousands outside the stadium, packed houses. Sunil Chetty made his debut. He's gone quite long way since then, and
yes.
And I think that has. And I've speak to a lot of people from India as well on football, and my always big issue is this, that we as SAFF countries don't interact with each other a lot more in terms of playing friendlies. You see the ASEAN teams, Singapore playing Myanmar, they're playing this, they're playing that, they're playing left, right, and center on every FIFA date. If they're not playing anybody outside the region, they're playing inside the region. Doesn't matter what rank they are. Same goes for Middle East. They're all playing each other a lot of the times. And we don't see that happen. But I'm just, glad we played Nepal this year. We played Maldives. We off to Bangladesh. We off to Afghanistan as well, next month. So, if we can go to Afghanistan, surely, we can go to India, or India can come to us. I know, WIM and the AFF want higher ranked teams. But when it comes to Pakistan-India game, rankings are the window, to be honest. Same goes for the cricket. Rankings are the window. We played in the last time Challenge Cup qualifiers, and I think we were winning 2-1 at that stage, 2-0, 2-1, and then India scored 2 late goals. So there wasn't much difference.
Hopefully someone from the federation is listening at this point, and we get Pakistan to tour India very soon. Coming back to the 2013 SAFF Championship, which is from the 1st of September. I'll ask you, Shahnaz, how do you rate the friendlies that have been organized by for the Pakistan national team? Do you think there are enough games so that the national team can prepare adequately before the tournament?
I think 3 games are reasonable. Obviously, we had fasting, so we couldn't really start anything early. Then again, Bangladesh have been training for a while, Nepal have been training for a while. Because we got so many players overseas, they've got their pre-season club commitments, and we've got to keep in mind they've already taken some time out in February and March for the games. They can't, because most of them are part-time. They've got day jobs, and working, you can only take so much time. So we've got Bangladesh. I think that'll be good. They'll try to play like India, Dutch style football perhaps. Afghanistan, playing in Afghanistan will be totally different ball game. I mean, the real irony would be if on 30th of July we end up with the 2 same teams in our group. That just ruins it. We were supposed to go to Lesotho again. Logistically, that's not going to happen. Again, I think going to Lesotho might have been a difficult one as well, because they might not be ranked that highly, but playing against an African opponent physically and that big, and it would have been a different ball game. So 2 games, 3 international friendlies. I think maybe we can throw in a camp somewhere, Middle East, but then looking at the climate in Nepal at the moment, I wouldn't want to go to Middle East. I'd rather like have some waterlogged pitches in Lahore and just play at them. You know, just float some pitches and play at them, because you saw what happened with our under-16s yesterday. They just, poor guys, just playing in waterlogged pitches. It's going to be embarrassing if that happens again at the SAFF Cup.
Yeah, that's true. Shahrukh, what kind of preparation is the coach trying to implement, in terms of a coaching camp? Is the Visa trying to, prepare the team differently this time around as compared to 2 years back?
I'm sure he's going to have a lot of different ideas into his mind, but obviously he's going to come back from Serbia first. He's expected to return to Pakistan on the 29th, and the camp starts on the 1st of August. So definitely he'll be starting his preparation in Lahore, and he'll brief his team. He's played against Nepal and Maldives, so he's familiar with the South Asian opposition by now. So he'll obviously prepare accordingly. And with Bangladesh coming up, I think the most challenging thing might be the temperature over there as well. Humidity levels in Dhaka are very high these days, so he's going to train his player according to the climate as well, and then check out the couple of players that Bangladesh have gotten from abroad as well. The most captivating aspect of his training would be whether he can get the foreign players to come to Pakistan directly and train with the national team. As Shahnaz mentioned earlier, most of them are part-timers, and for them to come over here and then eventually start training with the team for 2-3 weeks and then go out for friendlies can be quite difficult. So it's a question of whether will the foreign players be joining directly in the friendlies, or will they be training. So if they gel together, I think Pakistan should be well prepared for the friendlies. If they don't, it could be a question of whether the team lacks chemistry or not.
Speaking of those foreign players, Shahnaz, obviously you had a big role to play in getting some of those foreign players into the national team, Pakistan. How many foreign-based players can we expect to see in the squad this time around?
I mean, we are not Philippines. Otherwise, we'd have the starting 11 from overseas. But I've got to admire what they're doing there. Or same with Afghanistan as well. But yeah, I mean, I think we will have 2, 4, 6. We can have 7 to 8 on a good day. Again, 8, 9 again. So I think minimum we'll have at least about 6 to 7. And most of them, I think I'd imagine all 7 would be in starting 11. They'll be of the quality, and they've played. So we've missed some couple of the big players in recent years. One of our players been out with a leg break since 2010. He came back in 2011, broke the same leg, same place again, sadly. So he's looking to come back, and so it's just, I think, having that kind of composure in your team that you need to kind of play out these kind of games, because they're just tricky games. There's not going to be too much of a pace or quality from certain elements, but it's just that somebody gets a chance, they're going to take it, and you've just got to be there to prevent that happening and take your chances. So from last SAFF Cup, somebody like Jalaluddin Sharityar for Afghanistan, he was just a rock at the back. And same with Rahim Nabi and so on. So there are players at the back and leadership. I think we've been missing that over the last couple of years. So if you can have that with somebody like Amjad coming back, and with Yusuf in the goal, there's a lot of presence. So yeah, I mean, we'll definitely have some quality, but it's good to see the trend we started in SAFF is being followed now by Afghanistan. Nepal's tried it. They brought a couple of lads on trial. Their coaches went to Europe and Australia to see some players. Bangladesh have got it. Sri Lanka can possibly have some. Obviously, with India, it's well documented why they can't have it and why they won't have it. So that's a different. I'd love to see actually India take some overseas players, because I know some of them personally, and they want to play. And I've always said to them, you should play. Otherwise you can come and play for us, but at your own risk. at your own risk.
How difficult is it to convince some of these players of Pakistani origin, say in the UK, to actually play for the national team? Is it very easy to convince them?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that difficult because playing for national team is something very special. I mean, Zesh did it when he was at Fulham in the Premier League, although he was only 21 then. And, we've got a guy from Denmark, Danish Super League, Nabil Aslam, who is in the pipeline, but sometimes his club commitments get in the way because he's in the Premier Division and, like so SAFF Cup, all the tournaments are not held on FIFA dates and, he's first choice there. So he's played a Europa League as well and Danish Superliga. So he's committed. In the future we are looking to go out for from like Erzaz Hussein who plays for Molde, plays for Norway under 22s. Then there's Adil Nabi up and coming at West Brom. He's been in the England under 17 setup. He's looking to get into England under 20s. So we all just keeping our fingers on tabs. Just seeing what happens, where it happens. We got quite a few players. Obviously some youngsters coming from Germany. There's one at Energy Cottbus. There's one at Schalke. So just loads of kids coming around, and it's hopefully just keeping tabs on. I think it's what happened with the Filipinos. We just need to hit the headlines once, win a SAFF Cup, make it to the big stage, even at regional level, and it'll just start to snowball.
Say if you compare it to the Indian football players based out of Europe, do you think is it that you have a lot more Pakistani players coming up compared to say the Indian population?
Oh, it's this mixed. It's same. I think at the moment there are more Indian origin professional footballers in the UK at the moment than the Pakistani. I think there's just one or two at the moment from Pakistani origin. There are quite a few of Indian origin. Malvis Benning, Dani Bhatt, Chopra, Dylan Lal, Josh Sharma. So there are loads Indian origin, and same with in Norway. But we have more in Denmark. We have more in Norway as well. So this is the irony actually. Some people are struggling to understand why there are more South Asian coming through in Denmark and Norway and not in UK. You could have another debate on that. It's very intriguing actually. But yeah, there are quite a few coming from Indian origin actually, which is good to see from UK. But a lot of them want to play for India. You've got to sort out that passport issue. But looking at FIFA, sometimes they're not really concerned about your. All they just want to see is a proof
of you're connected to the country.
Exactly that you're connected, and there are loads of people who are playing. To be honest,
Shahnaz was mentioning about leadership within the Pakistan side. Is it that the coach and the local players will look to these foreign players to provide that leadership?
Well, not exactly. If you talk to the Pakistani national team players who played domestically, they're definitely very curious about the foreign players. They had a lot of misconceptions about them. Why can't they come early to Pakistan for training? Why do they go directly to the matches? There was a bit of misconception. Why does that happen? There was a bit of jealousy as well. But after I talked to them personally, they expressed that foreign-based players could be the next big thing in Pakistan. They definitely want them in the team and they want them to play. But in terms of leadership, I think Pakistan needs a very solid leader in the team. It's not going to be a case of local players depending on foreign players. It could be a local player as well. But we need, for example, before Mohammad Isa, one of the best local players Pakistan has ever produced, before he eventually retired from the national team setup, he was a leader. Whether you want to admit it or not, that footballer used to lead the line when he was on the pitch. Pakistan is something like that. And if you go back to the 2009 SAFF Cup, Amjad Iqbal, he plays for Bradford Park Avenue in the UK. He provides that sort of outlet. Can lead the team from the back, tell players what to do, command them, help the coach implement his plans on the pitch. And that is something that Pakistan are really lacking at the moment.
That's probably true. So, to wrap it up, guys, I mean, of course, we've sort of, there is a general perception and consensus now that Pakistan is definitely much stronger than they were 2 years back and could be possible contenders for the SAFF Championship this time around. So, just would like to, some final predictions from you guys, starting with you, Shahnaz. I like that smile.
Not a prediction guy. Never a prediction guy.
Something you expect from the Pakistan team this time around? Of course, there are a lot of ifs and buts.
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely love to get out the group this time because we haven't done that for about the last 3 times. I'd like to get out of the group this time. Just being a bogey team. Sometimes it's Sri Lanka, sometimes it's Bangladesh. Just get out there, You know, I don't know, do what you got to do, score a goal, park the bus, I don't care. Just, I think, get out of the group. I expect to get out of the group this time. Obviously, we'll have to see what our group is. It could well just be host Nepal, Afghanistan, and India in our group. Ta-da. But, just get out of the group this time, I think. I expect that.
What about you, Shahrukh? Maybe something a little more optimistic.
You can
Yes,
expect that from him.
optimistic, yes, but eventually it just boils down to the team and the squad and a lot of other factors. But in my opinion, if Pakistan don't have any injuries and they've got everybody on board from Zesh to Nabil to Hassan and the full squad, the whole shebang, I expect Pakistan to make it to the final if they have everybody on board, ideal preparations, and I think Pakistan would definitely reach the final under those conditions.
Okay, that's I'm sure that's something that Pakistani fans will be more pleased with. Thanks, guys. It's been lovely chatting with both of you, and we'll come back with more Google Hangouts, focusing on other participating countries as well, starting with India. Hopefully, we'll do that tomorrow. So, thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you again soon.
See you. Take care.
Bye.